Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just so happy that you're all here to celebrate this important moment for us, and that Trent House Association and the 1719 Trent House Museum can host this beautiful event to commemorate a very important event, a very important part of our history. So I'm glad that you're here. We have so many important people here. If I name, how many are there? I don't know, hundreds of you out there. But so many of you here, and I'm just so happy that you're here to share this moment. And so what I'd like to do is just to introduce those very important people, and we're going to give out a commemoration, a proclamation, I believe it's called, to a member of Morven. But I just wanted to start off by recognizing first our mayor. And I'm just so happy that he is here. Mayor Gusciora, right? So I'm going to start off with you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Princess. Welcome to Trenton, and I guess this is 240th anniversary. Mayor Morven would probably have been here to welcome the troops, Trenton's first mayor. And at the time, there was only 500 inhabitants. And my understanding is when the troops assembled outside White Plains, there were 15,000, and that represented the third largest city in America at the time. Only New York and Philadelphia had a higher population. And the original plan was to attack New York, but the French Admiral de Grasse, who was supposed to sail into New York Harbor, chose to go down to the Potomac. And Washington decided to switch strategies and then take the long march down into Virginia. And the rest was history. Successful in against General Cornwallis at Yorktown, but Trenton always played a large part in the Revolution. And the other thing that 1/4 of the soldiers were either black or indigenous persons. So it's always interesting to find out the contributions that all Americans played in the Revolution, and that was so important, and especially Trenton's role in the participation of founding our nation. So I welcome you all here. I welcome all our visitors from all over, and hope you enjoy our stay at the Trent House. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you. Now, we have so many important people, and forgive me if I don't call all of your names out, because there's hundreds of you here. But I want to next introduce to you our assembly people. We have two of our assembly people here, well, that represents our district. And first I want to call up our assemblyman. Oh, look at me. I know your name. Okay, I just said hi to you. You know, just forgive me, it's just this nervousness. Okay, forgive me, everybody. Now, I've known this man for many years, and I don't know why his name escaped me, but I want to call up our Honorable Assemblyman, Anthony Verrelli.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to introduce my Assemblymate, Assemblywoman Verlina Reynolds Jackson, for everyone. We are part of the 15th Legislative District, representing this great city of Trenton, the capital city. And we're like the Marines, no one left behind. Whenever we're together, we're together. So, this is great. Drag this around. I'm a carpenter and I can't fix the door, so I apologize. I want to thank the Trent House for having me and us here today. This is the second time I've been here this summer, and I really look forward to it. I get excited, I get nervous, I get anxious, and you get all these emotions when you go to speak somewhere and give remarks. So my remarks will be brief, trust me. We're meeting in a very historic neighborhood, like I stated the last time I was here. And this neighborhood has a lot of historic significance for me. As a carpenter, I worked on 2 projects here that were of historical content and value. The first one was the State House. I went there as a second-year apprentice, carpenter apprentice, and I worked with some older journeyman who told me that, hey kid, pay attention here. You're going to see craftsmanship at its finest, and when we take it apart, you'll see how it was really done. And I paid attention, and it gave me a feeling, because they said, just like you're seeing what we built, what was built years and years and years ago, you're going to leave that legacy with you through your skills, so you better be sharp, and your chisel better be sharp. And then the last project I did in Trenton was the old barracks renovation in the 90s. And that was very interesting. And the people I worked for at that time, they gave us everything we needed to do the job. I mean, pictures, architects were there, took pictures of other work and everything. And it was really fantastic. And they said, this is part of your legacy, your craftsmanship, that people can see 100 or 200 years later. And, you know, I thought that was very heartfelt. But the history of this great city can be also the key to the city of Trenton's future, bright, promising future. Our newly passed budget this year, with myself and Assemblywoman Reynolds Jackson being a part of that, the dialogue and conversation and the effort to move it forward, there's $25 million appropriated, okay, to Revolutionary War sites throughout New Jersey. One of them being Washington Crossing State Park, and the other one being the Trenton Battle Monument, which is not too far from here. I always drove by it as a kid, but never went to the top. Maybe one day I'll get there. And hopefully they can find some kind of resources for the old barracks, which is very close and near and dear to me. This was great. The first time I was here, I had the honor to introduce a lecture about the history written about the two battles of Trenton, which was a turning point in the American Revolution. They were the linchpins of the 10 crucial days that made American independence possible. Right here in the city in late 1776 and 1777. I knew the French were involved, but I didn't know how involved they really were in our revolution. Today we commemorate a moment toward the end of the American Revolution in September of 1781, where thousands of French and American troops camped in Trenton on their way to what would be the final major victory in Yorktown, Virginia. Traveling all that time, either by land or by sea, it was pretty arduous, and I commend all the people that fought for our freedom. So, too few people are aware of the importance of our French allies in winning the American independence and the diversity of America's Continental Army, which included at the time many black and brown soldiers. And our reenactors are here with us today from the Rhode Island 1st Division, and I want to recognize Algernon Ward, friends with over the years. He's always in there. And for anybody who hasn't been inside, there's a handsome portrait of a guy in there that resembles him. So please, feel free to take a look. We're fortunate to have the group here and Algernon here, who interpreted the 1st Rhode Island Regiment, which was the most diverse regiment in the American Army at that time. So, again, to Algernon and your compatriots, thank you for all you do for the city, for the nation, and everything you do for what you do to promote the message of the Rhode Island Brigade. So, in my opinion, what I think Trenton needs to be recognized, like Boston, Philadelphia, and New York. More so, because it basically all started here, and we fought here, and that's what we needed to do. And if it wasn't for what we did here, for those two battles, you know, we might be dancing to a different tune right now. So, you know, I'm fortunate to be a part of it here in the 15th District. Like I said, I thought I was a history buff in high school, but now I'm learning more and more every day. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to come back and share some brief remarks. And I'd like to see if Verlina wants to say something. No.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank the Assemblyman and thank William Trent House, the board here, and each and every one of you that came out today in this celebration, celebrating the soldiers from many backgrounds through Trenton, and definitely this 1781. I also want to acknowledge the Lenape group as the original people of the land and their continuing relationship with their territory. The land on which the Trent House and the city of Trenton stands is a traditional part of the territory. William Trent and his family also made significant contributions, including our name. Among those significant results from the revolution was the creation of many government representation. And I thought it was interesting to learn that not only did William Trent serve in the Assembly, but the Justice, but to look at how we've come so far to continuing on the legacy that was here, opening up to the people, telling our history, telling our truth, and embracing all of it. It's extremely important that we continue to do that and invite our communities here to learn, to grow, and make sure that we preserve the history that we have. So as you'll continue to hear, you have representation here from state, county, and local government. This is how we work. This is what we love, and we put our love into action. And so thank you so much for having us here today, and I look forward to continuing supporting you all.
Thank you so much, Assembly people. You know what I forgot? I forgot I have a team here. So when you see one, you see the other, and I should have introduced them by name both at the same time. So thank you so much, Assemblyman Anthony Verrelli and Assemblywoman Verlina Reynolds Jackson. I tell you what, I feel so honored to be amongst them. So the next, I would like to bring up our Mercer County Commissioner, Samuel Frisby.
So, Assemblyman, I know that you said you couldn't fix the door, and that just goes to prove that the magic's actually in the belt. You need to keep the belt in the car. Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Frisby. I am with the Mercer County Board of Chosen Commissioners. I'm excited to be here for multiple reasons. Many years ago, when I first came to Trenton, I was not a huge history buff. I moved here and took a job with Mayor Douglas H. Palmer as the Director of Recreation, Natural Resources, and Culture for the City of Trenton. The Trent House was part of the cadre of things that I was responsible for. And I learned so much about our history here, not only in this city, but in this county. And you know, when I ran for the Commissioner Board, one of the things that I talked about was the fact that we really need to lift up our history in this county. We're one of the most historically significant communities, not just Trenton, but Mercer County, in the nation. More significant than Williamsburg, Virginia, right? They made up some of their history. Our history is actually real. You know, when you really look at what has happened in this city and in this county, this is an opportunity for us to really rebuild ourselves with our history being in tow. You know, my wife and I just attended her family reunion down in South Carolina, and this was their 40th annual family reunion. They do it every 2 years, and they lead off their family reunion every Friday night with the history of their family, with the lineage, where they came from. And we need to continue to uphold our history and help people understand. Many young people would not think that a quarter of the troops that fought were people of color and indigenous people, because they don't know the history. And so we really need to do what my friend Algernon Ward and our soldiers here have done for years. Not only is there a handsome picture of them here, but if you go to the State Museum when they had that beautiful rendition of the Buffalo Soldiers and the Negro Soldiers, they were the group that actually took those pictures. So always love seeing their faces in those places. We have a resolution from the county commissioners that I'm not going to read because nobody wants to hear all the whereases that come out of this. But I am going to read, as we present this plaque to our friends at Morven. 2022 Mercer County Historic Site on Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route National Historic Trail. Whereas the Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route traverses Mercer County and passes by historic homes that were witness to history in 1781, when the French and Continental American soldiers trooped by on their long march to their victory at Yorktown, Virginia, ensuring American independence. And whereas Morven is an outstanding reminder of the moment in American history when the French and Continental American armies rendezvoused in Princeton and around Morven while preparing to rush southward to Yorktown. And whereas Morven provides a window into the history for each new generation to learn about the architectural treasures of Princeton and Mercer County that stretch along the Washington-Rochambeau revolutionary route of 1781. Therefore, we take this opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate Morven as an exceptional monument to American revolutionary history, still surviving and thriving in 2022. Do we have representatives from Morven here? Please give her a hand as she comes.
Thank you.
Please.
Our board chair, Liza Morehouse, is also here. On behalf of everyone at Morven, and represented with Liza Morehouse, our board chair, and I'm the executive director, Jill Berry, I want to thank you and Trent House and everyone involved with the trail. We've so very much looked forward to 2026, which is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration, where the eyes of the nation will turn to all of the American revolutionary sites. And this is just the first step in that long march, so to speak. So we're very much looking forward to a long partnership with everyone here. So thank you so much.
Hello again. And I would like to read the proclamation that the Honorable Brian M. Hughes, our Mercer County executive, would like to present, and unfortunately he was unable to be here. But I'm just going to read a small portion of it, and I would like Jill to come back up so that I can present it to her. Whereas it's proclamation by the county executive recognizing Morven Museum and Garden. Whereas the Trent House Association hosts its second annual celebration of the 240th anniversary of the Washington-Rochambeau March to Victory in Yorktown in 1781 on August 27, 2022. And whereas Mercer County joins the Trent House Association in honoring Morven Museum and Garden in Princeton, New Jersey, as the site in Mercer County where the Continental and French armies converged before continuing to Trenton. And whereas Mercer County was witness to history in 1781 when the Continental and French soldiers filed through on their long march to victory at Yorktown, Virginia, ensuring American independence. Whereas Morven Museum and Garden provides a window into history for each new generation to learn about the historic treasures of Princeton and Mercer County that stretches along the Washington-Rochambeau revolutionary route of 1781 and the important role they played in shaping our nation's history. Now, therefore, I, Brian M. Hughes, do hereby join the Trent House Association in recognizing and appreciating Morven Museum and Garden as an exceptional monument to American revolutionary history.
Thank you, Princess.
So I'm going to present this to you.
Thank you.
And if there's anything more you'd like to say for this particular.
Well, I think it should be noted that Brian Hughes, as Governor Hughes' son, also lived at Morven. So I hope he would have signed and endorsed this. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this moment with us. And have a beautiful rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
For the Trent House, 3 huzzah! For the Rhode Islanders, hip hip, huzzah! Hip hip, huzzah! Hip hip, huzzah! head over there.